that everybody? Daley Arbogast, Kent Frappier,
Here.
Alex Shandell,
Here.
Paul Gabolas, Janelle Murray,
Here.
Kenneth Ernest,
Here.
Phoebe Westling,
Here.
William Kirchhoff,
Here.
Quentin Smith,
Yep.
Clarence Lewis,
Here.
Marlisa Stripling,
Here.
James Metz, Lori Clifton, Oscar Martinez, Gary Reynolds, Mark Frank, Dale Fessenden,
Here.
Matthew Dancer, Randy Christenberry, Susan Johnson,
Here.
Evan Kendrick,
Here.
Billy Jordan, Scott Baker,
Here.
Robert Bagling, Wendy Lynch, Caleb Smith, Dale Inman,
Here.
Stephen Kent,
Here.
Linda Stuckey,
Here.
Mark Ferber, Betty Anderson,
Here.
Amy Van Horn,
Here.
Scott Robbins,
Here.
David West,
Here.
Tammy Kelver,
Here.
Paul Croson,
Here.
Terry Kropick,
Here.
Stacy Buick,
Here.
Brad Vickers, Jan Nell,
Here.
Jamie Nash,
Here.
Charlotte Berlin,
Here.
John Schluter,
Here.
Kat Rummel, Peter Stees,
Here.
Mark Fusca,
Here.
Stephen Lawrence,
Here.
Adrian Heath,
Here.
Christina Lightfoot, Johnny Reyes, Wayne Pearson,
Here.
Christopher Crawford, Tom Grega,
Here.
Sarah Allison. I got you. Keith Lincoln, Elizabeth Ricard,
Here.
Allison Winter,
Here.
Judy Thomas,
Here.
Donna McAleer,
Here.
Stephen Wright, Herschel Williams,
Here.
Roy Jimenez, Tammy Lake,
Here.
Wendy Yockey,
Here.
Denise Boyd,
Here.
John Wirtz,
Here.
John Munich, Catherine Lucetta,
Here.
Ann Kate,
Here.
Rick Vandenberg, Paige Tooker,
Here.
Larry Rogers,
Here.
Paul Gregory,
Here.
Joshua Jarls,
Here.
Keith Wagner, Richard Von Robel, Susan Love,
Here.
Blake Hall,
Here.
Daniel Stage, Jeff Sedlar,
Here.
Bonnie Gross, David Johns,
Here.
Robert Walker, Charles Shirley,
Here.
Melinda Olin,
Here.
Gilbert Hilscher,
Here.
Annette Kerr,
Here.
Justin Stidham, Edward Arnold, Mary Lewis,
Here.
Sherry Tavel, Louis Yepes,
Here.
Kimberly Weber,
Here.
Stephanie Cox,
Here.
Tom Conley,
Here.
Anna Wynn, Stacy Kellum,
Here.
Michael Anderson,
Here.
Diane Campbell, Lexi Pfister, Lana Horde,
Here.
Jackie Williams,
Here.
Graham Church,
Here.
Karen Zeller,
Here.
Louis Pedraza,
Here.
Ronnie Trojanowski, Ben Walsh,
Here.
Wendy Taylor, Castle Towery,
Here.
Sean Nelson.
Here.
You have a form? Sarah.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm gonna try to introduce a few folks before we do the call to order and approval of the agenda. We have on the Sergeant of Arms, we have Tim Yockey and Phil Cady. And at the door, we have David Burka. Thank y'all for serving. The timekeepers are Terry Sherman and,
She's a counter. Nita's the timekeeper.
oh, Nita's the timekeeper and Terry is gonna be the counter, one of the counters. Okay, let's see. I want to thank Adrian for stepping forward to cover our parliamentarian, but now we have Peter Allison, who is in place. Joining me on the dais here, we have Charles Shirley, who is the treasurer of the party. We have Louis Pedraza, who is the vice chairman, and DJ Fike, who is the secretary, and I just don't know what we're gonna do without her. But anyway, so I think, did I introduce everybody that's helping out here tonight? I think so, okay. All right, so I'm calling the meeting to order as we have a quorum, and I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to adopt is written.
Okay, is there a second? And we have a second, Bob Bagley. So, all those in favor of the agenda as written and distributed, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the agenda is as we have distributed. Approval of the January 26 minutes. Can I have a motion to approve those that are on the website?
Motion to adopt is written on the website.
And a second?
Point of information,
Yes, ma'am.
item 13 on the minutes is new business, and it's where Allison moved to nominate Castle Towery as chairman of resolutions, and Tammy Lake moved to nominate Annette Kerr. I rose at that time and asked you if it would be permissible to have co-chairs of the committee. And if I remember correctly, you said to me, we have no committees with co-chairs. And I brought to your attention that Lana Ford and Denise Boyd were co-chairs of one of our committees on the website. That's not in the minutes anywhere before the vote. Could that be added?
Thank you. We will amend the minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, so other than this correction, do we have, is there any other adjustments to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as printed, please say aye.
Aye.
As
Any
amended.
opposed?
As amended.
Is that what I said? All right, sorry, as corrected. Okay. We are moving on to committee reports. We're moving to the vacancy committee.
Good evening. The vacancy committee met and we interviewed 3 candidates for vacancies. Candidates for 34, 68, and 117. And I'd like to call them forward now. So I need Jeff Marshall, Lorraine Rice, and David West.
What was the numbers again, please?
It's precinct 68, 117, and 34. Okay, so I'm going to let David go first. I want him just to tell you a little bit about himself, only like a minute or two. Okay? Introduce yourself.
Just take in the room.
You might want to use the microphone.
Okay. Hey, my name is David West. I've been in this precinct about 30 years, I think. I had the same job for 40 years. They decided last April Fool's that was long enough. So now I'm retired. Let's see, my wife raised 2, I raised 6. So I know about the Conroe School District. What else do you know of me? I'm a student at Grace School of Theology, so that's a lot of fun. So I'm that guy at Thanksgiving that talks about, well, wants to talk about those 2 things you're not supposed to talk about, but I'm also smart enough not to talk about it. So this is my first dabble really into politics, if you want to call it that. But I do think if you have your theology right, you have a hope that really is secure. And I think politics tries. I don't know how well they do, but they try. And I think all governments around the world they rule by the consent of the people. And you may not believe that, but at one point, they were voted in. They may rule now by intimidation, but everybody rules by the consent of the people. And in this country, we at least get a chance to say something. And I fear many people around the world welcome something they didn't know what they were getting. So that's why I'm happy to kind of have this rule. Like, look, my role is just to educate people best we can. so we don't step into something we don't want. So that's me, David West.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And next, we're going to have Precinct 68, Lorraine Rice.
Hello, my name's Lorraine Rice, and I am a retired school teacher of 27 years, about 23 of those in Conroe. I got involved in politics a few years back as a teacher, saw some things going on that I was concerned about. I love my country, and I love my grandchildren, and so I knew that I had to get involved because I cannot leave and go to heaven and leave our country the way it is. So I decided to jump in. Of course, made a lot of enemies, sadly, right away with some teachers, but that's okay. I'm pretty thick-skinned. So anyway, I'm here to serve the people of 68 and serve you guys as well. So.
And lastly, we have Jeff Marshall, Precinct 117, one of the new ones.
Good evening, my name is Jeff Marshall. I'm a husband and a father to 4 daughters with 10 grandchildren. I've been a 15-year Magnolia resident. I got into politics before the 2020 presidential election in Magnolia, seriously. When we had our grassroots Trump trains building up, me and John Brock took those trains from 10 vehicles to over 1,000, I think, on some of the big runs towards the end. That was a huge grassroots fire that started burning in me. I really had a great time. The election was tough, and then we struggled after that. But the last primary season, I ran for Precinct 65 chair against Tammy. We had a pretty awesome contest. It was really close. It was fun. I enjoyed the block walking and everything else that came with that candidacy. And first of this year, found out that I'm in a new precinct. So I'm in the very bottom corner of Montgomery County in the southwest corner, bordering Waller and Harris counties. And look forward to having this opportunity. Thank you.
So the vacancy committee is recommending all 3 of these candidates by acclamation to be appointed for their respective precincts. And so we just need to take a vote on that.
Okay, so the committee is recommending, no second is needed. All those in favor of these precinct chair
Madam Chair?
candidates?
May I
Yes,
ask a
ma'am.
question before we vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Precinct 68 vacant?
Yes, actually, Teresa Haig resigned earlier in January. I meant to look up the date to tell you, but it's been on the website that it was vacant. And actually Lorraine has worked some with Teresa, like as a clerk and that type of thing. But anyway, she resigned. She had some health issues, some things she needed to take care of, family things.
Okay, when DJ called roll, precinct 68 is marked present on my list.
68 is vacant.
68 is no, 63. Okay, when you called roll, did you call Teresa Haig's name for 68?
No, you're welcome to come look.
Well, that's okay. Thank you, my mistake.
Okay, yeah, alrighty. So anyway,
So as no second is needed, all those in favor of these candidates, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Seeing none, thank you for serving. We're so happy to have y'all.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome the Honorable Michael Hawley, District Attorney, to swear in our new precinct chairs.
If you would, please raise your right hand. I will fulfill the duties required of MCRP Precinct Chair. And, I'm sorry, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. I will abide by the duly adopted bylaws for the current biennium. I have read the preamble and the principles of the Republican Party of Texas and support each of them. I will support only non-censured Republican candidates in the general election. With agreement to this oath and the confirmation of the County Executive Committee, I pronounce you precinct chairman of your respective precincts. Congratulations. Make sure you ask Jeff for pictures of his grandkids before you leave.
All right, I need to conclude my report. Thank you very much, Mr. Holly, for coming. And our remaining vacancies are 41, 57, 79, 101, 115, 116, 118, 119, and 121. They're vacant right now. Okay, let me count. 9. Thank you.
Okay, that committee is concluded. We move to the resolutions committee.
First, I would like to move. Okay, I'm sure y'all can hear me now. Okay, first I'd like to move that the CEC confirm this slate of resolutions committee members. Bob Bagley, Don McMinn, Chris Paxton, Sherry Rushing, Kim Weber, Karen Zeller, Stephanie Cox, Adrian Heath, Nita Henry, Lana Ford, Wyatt Jeffries, Betty Anderson, Tony LaBelle, and Adrian Kaiser.
Point of information, can I ask who was not accepted as a committee member? Well, I'm asking her.
Repeat the question, I'm sorry.
Who was not accepted as a committee member?
Yes.
Is there something to hide?
I personally.
Would you believe me if I told you I had 3 left?
Yes, Robert.
I've been,
Okay, you've asked your question, so we're now letting Robert. All right, so Robert is calling for decorum. So Castle, do you have that information readily available or not?
I do not.
Okay, Castle does not have that information readily available, so we're moving on with the committee report. You may ask one more question to this committee.
On the 13th of January, you replied to me that there were over 30 people that wanted to be on the committee. I messaged you on January 6th and asked to serve. I replied and asked for a list of those who applied and a list of who was accepted. And I had to look on the website to find the list of who was accepted because I received no reply. So that was a valid question that she asked about who all had applied. There should be a list. Your reply to me said over 30 of us had applied, and I said us because I was in that group, and that everyone had been chosen and the committee was full.
Okay, so we are moving along. Move to your next subject area. I already ruled that we are not going to ask any more questions of this committee at this time. Go. Yes. So all these committee members that you had called out, if you would please answer aye if you're approving those committee members, and we will move forward. Aye if you want to approve the committee members. All those ready to vote?
Yes.
Aye.
So if you're approving the committee members, please answer with aye. Aye. Those opposed? Nay. Okay, I am calling that for the ayes. If the committee would move forward, please.
Now the resolutions committee report. The resolutions committee met on Friday, January 30th at 6 p.m. The meeting was properly posted on the website 7 days in advance in accordance with the bylaws. 3 resolutions were submitted prior to the 7-day deadline preceding this CEC meeting. One of the 3 resolutions authors appeared before the committee. All CEC members should have received a copy of the submitted resolutions when signing in for today's meeting. I will present each resolution in the order it was received by the committee. After each resolution is presented, the author will have the opportunity to make the appropriate motion to the CEC. The first resolution is the resolution to request regular private meetings termed representative reports between the CEC and elected officials, submitted by Precinct 54 Chair Tom Grega. The Resolutions Committee reviewed this resolution and unanimously does not recommend passage in its current form. The committee provided feedback to the author regarding potential changes that could improve the resolution.
My name is not only on it, David Wesley also worked hard on it as well.
Okay.
And David Berger worked on it as well. Now, I was told by Kim Weber that some things were not adequately put in and need to be recalibrated, and if it's submitted at this time, it would have a very short shelf life. Now, I'm willing to go and sit down with the resolutions committee and explain what needs to be explained and recalibrate as need be, but I do not want to have something submitted that has a very short shelf life. David Wesley, would you like to add anything? Or David Burke, would you like to add anything? I don't think Mark Frank is here.
I was not aware that it was going to be presented today until today when I looked it up. So I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, you can see it at this time. Yes, at this time. Withdrawing at this time.
Okay, the author is withdrawing the resolution to be brought forward at a future time. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Okay, moving to the second.
Okay, the second resolution is the resolution defending the Republican Party brand and opposing deceptive primary endorsements submitted by Precinct 97 Chair Kim Weber. The Resolutions Committee suggested several clarifying edits. Ms. Weber agreed to those edits, and the revised version is included in your resolutions packet. The committee unanimously recommends passage of the resolution with those clarifying edits.
I accept those changes as a friendly amendment.
Okay, so. Okay, so the parliamentarian thinks we need to have a second. Can I have a second? Oh, we got Karen back there. Karen Zeller. All right, so all those prepared to vote? Yes.
I rise to speak against the motion, the resolution.
Okay. So,
I haven't presented it.
We're going to allow Kim to speak to her motion.
I'm Kim Weber, Precinct Chair 97. I'm going to read my prepared statement I read it to y'all at the last meeting, but I do think it's important to reiterate this. So, my esteemed colleagues, every 2 years, thousands of Republicans assemble at the RPT State Convention to debate and vote on the RPT platform, rules, and legislative priorities. They are democratically adopted documents reflecting the will of the grassroots conservative all across the state. They are not just decided by some small minority faction of political insiders, as some have claimed. The Republican Party brand is more than just a name. It represents a set of principles, priorities, values, and commitments that give voters a clear understanding of what our party stands for. The Republican Party, like an enduring institution, has developed its identity over time through ideas such as affirming our belief in God, the protection of innocent life, the importance of traditional family, limited government, individual liberty, free markets, and constitutional responsibility. And because the Republican brand carries such a powerful meaning, we have a responsibility to defend it. And if we fail to speak out and defend our brand, we are allowing the label Republican to be applied to just any person, position, or behavior without regard to our core principles. And when that happens, the brand loses coherence, credibility, and in short, we lose our identity. If the word Republican no longer signals our shared values, it becomes meaningless. Voters are left with a hollow label rather than a serious governing philosophy. Defending the Republican brand is therefore essential, not just for party unity, but for accountability and trust in the political system. That is why I urge you to pass this resolution. I'd like to read the entire resolution, if that's okay. Okay. Whereas the Republican Party does not endorse candidates in Republican primary elections, recognizing that primary elections exist to allow Republican voters to freely choose among qualified Republican candidates. And whereas the bylaws of the Montgomery County Republican Party, MCRP, prohibit endorsement of any candidate or issue on the Republican primary ballot in Section 1101 of bylaws. Whereas individual Republican leaders, including but not limited to precinct chairs, have a First Amendment right to endorse whoever they prefer. Whereas certain organizations and political action committees, including but not limited to the Republican Voters of Texas, have used names or branding and prominent display of the words Republican Voter Guide.
That's not what we have.
That's on the next page.
Yeah.
Maybe on the back of it.
It's on the next page. Committee modified version.
Whereas political action committees have no official affiliation with the Republican Party of Texas, nor the local county Republican Party, that engage in endorsement actions in Republican primaries based on their own choices. And whereas Dr. Wally Wilkerson stated in a Chronicle.com article, and that's one of the ones that we passed out. by Catherine Dominguez dated January 24th, 2014, Dr. Wiley states, I deeply regret that a Harris County organization would attempt to influence elections in our county, since it is a fact that such organizations have been known to sell their endorsements to candidates, and a substantial number of recipients of the mailer by conservative Republicans of Texas were left with the impression that the Montgomery County Republican Party had violated its longtime policy against endorsing candidates in a primary contest because it was prominently labeled with the words Republican Voter Guide. And whereas the Republican Voters of Texas PAC has been publicly condemned by the Montgomery County Republican Party for distributing voter guides and other materials presented with the words Republican Voter Guide in a prominent manner at the top of the documents with the required attribution statements of paid political advertising by Republican Voters of Texas PAC in a much less prominent location and size as to reasonably call voters to believe such endorsements originate from or are sanctioned by the Montgomery County Republican Party rather than the Republican Voters of Texas PAC. Whereas members of Republican Voters of Texas PAC have been observed by elected precinct chairs and or party volunteers handing their Republican Voter Guide materials to primary voters at a voting location while asking them, would you like a Republican Voter Guide? Thus establishing a pattern of individuals acting as agents of the Republican Voters of Texas PAC for the purpose of influencing an election. And whereas this pattern of individuals acting as agents of the Republican Voters of Texas PAC has resulted in more confused Republican voters who erroneously believe that they can still vote straight Republican in the primary, thus influencing the outcome of the election. And whereas schemes that rely on voter confusion, misrepresentation, or the misuse of the Republican Party name, symbols, or reputation are unethical and undermine the integrity, transparency, and trust essential to our electoral process and brand, and appears to be in violation of Texas Election Code 255.005, which states that a person commits an offense if, with the intent to injure a candidate or influence the result of an election, the person misrepresents the person's identity, or if acting or purporting act as an agent misrepresents the identity of the agent's principal in political advertising or campaign communication. And B, an offense under this section is a Class A misdemeanor. And whereas the Montgomery County Republican Party has a duty to protect its name, brand, and principles from misuse or hijacking by any individual or organization seeking to influence primary elections through deception or misrepresentation. Be it further resolved that the Montgomery County Republican Party formally condemns any individual or organization that falsely implies official Republican Party endorsement or affiliation for the purpose of influencing or confusing voters in a primary election. And be it further resolved that the Montgomery County Republican Party declares such deceptive practices unethical and contrary to the values of honesty, transparency, and fair competition that Republicans expect in their election. And be it further resolved that the Montgomery County Republican Party shall use its resources to vigorously defend the Republican brand against anyone attempting to hijack, misuse, or represent the Republican Party name, reputation, or identity for the purpose of endorsing candidates in a Republican primary election. Be it finally resolved that the appropriate Montgomery County Republican Party officers and committees are encouraged to take all lawful and appropriate actions necessary to protect Republican voters from deception and to preserve the integrity of the Republican primary process and remain in compliance with the MCRP bylaws, Section 1101, and the Texas Election Code. Thank you.
Madam Chairman?
Okay, so we are ready to move into debate.
Madam Chairman? I rise to make a motion to amend the resolution.
Okay?
Goes around. I don't have a copy for everybody, but y'all can read that and pass it down.
We will need one up here at the chair. Yes, John.
Do we need a second for that motion?
Well, after
All right, a second. And then there will be discussion.
Okay. Is there a second for Scott's motion?
Yeah.
No, the first motion. No, seconding, Kim's motion for her,
Well, there was already a
resolution. It's not a second
Okay, everybody be quiet for just a minute. DJ, do you have a second for Kim's original motion? If you'll just wait, Scott.
Kim stated that she accepted the edits as edited. Scott Robbins moved to adopt. Second, Karen Zeller. Kim Weber, the author, stated she accepted the edits. Scott Robbins moved to adopt. Second, Karen Zeller.
Okay, so now Scott has,
Motion to amend.
he has made a motion to amend. We need a copy here. Okay, we have Marlon Strickland, second.
My motion to amend is to add the following language to everywhere where it says the Republican Voter of Texas PAC, to add immediately after with commas, the Montgomery County Tea Party PAC, and the True Texas Project. The reason being is that their voter guides at the top say Republican Primary Voter Guide, which is exactly what the Republican Voters of PAC is accused of doing. What does it say?
It says Republican primary, NCTP, PAC, voter.
The words Republican Primary and Voter Guide are right next to each other.
NCTP.
The other one says Republican Primary Election or Endorsement List.
Shows it prominently too.
Yeah, okay, I'm saying it's the same thing, so let's add them both to it.
Second.
Excuse me, Mr. Baker, could you give us a copy of the RBT endorsement list so we can see if it actually says Republican?
So are we are in discussion? Any wishing to be for or against?
I would like to speak for it.
Yes.
He had a second.
I rise to speak for it.
Scott? Okay, so now we haven't had a problem in the past. All of those, we should have 3 people for and 3 people against. If you're not here at the front, prepared to go, then you will not be recognized. For and against. 3 for, 3 against. You will need to come forward. Scott, are you, yes, sir, Robert?
Are the for and against speaking for the main motion that's on the floor?
No, the amendment. We are on the amendment. We are speaking for and against the amendment. Mr. Baker, if you would go first, please. Well, that'll be fine.
Stacy, would you go
It doesn't matter who goes first.
She's going first.
It doesn't matter who goes first as long as y'all all information. That's all that matters.
I understand.
I'm Stacy Buick, precinct 38. The amendment has credibility, quite simply, because if you pick one, then you're being exclusionary, and that isn't the American way. The First Amendment guarantees us freedom of speech. So quite frankly, this is just absolutely a moot point from my perspective. All of these groups are attempting to elect Republicans. That's the key word here. They are attempting to elect Republicans. Keep that in mind, folks, because if we don't unite behind Republican candidates, we're going to have a Democrat coming. And the third thing is you don't own the name. Quite frankly, it's not a copyright. You don't own the name.
My name is Scott Robbins. I'm the chairman for Precinct 33, and I rise against the amendment that Mr. Baker offered for a couple of reasons. There are lots of groups indeed that use the name Republican in their advertising and their voter guides. And the lady is right that the word Republican is not copyrighted, but the Republican Voters of Texas PAC that we're speaking of has been condemned by this body over and over and over again for deceptive advertising, for listing the word Republican and claiming this is a Republican voter guide. I'm a precinct chair, I'm a judge, I've worked the parking lots, we all have. And we've seen these people come walking up to the voters and say, do you want a Republican voter guide? They hand them this thing. And it looks like an actual Republican voter guide. It is not. It is an endorsement. It's my time to talk. It is an endorsement of particular candidates from that PAC. I would argue that PAC is probably supporting Mr. Baker, which is why he's supporting this amendment. The amendment is deceptive. These two groups that he claims are also using the Republican name, they're not passing out voter guides saying this is the Republican voter guide. They say this is the guide of that particular organization.
Could everybody please be quiet? Thank you.
When they pass out their voter guides, they clearly identify themselves. They say we're the Tea Party, or whatever group they are. The Republican Voters of Texas PAC, if they would do that, we wouldn't have this problem. They don't do that. They're trying to trick the voters, and we're trying to stop them. It's that simple. They're deceptive, and they're lying, and we should not adopt this amendment. What we should adopt is the original motion that was offered a minute ago. I yield any time I have.
Obviously, I'm for this amendment. I realize you guys are going to vote against it, but it's nonsense, and it just shows the absurdity of what this is. This isn't about using the name Republican. It's about a PAC that a bunch of you guys don't like. I am on the advisory board of the Republican Voters of Texas PAC. I joined because you guys condemned it, actually. I didn't even know about it until then. I went and found out who they were. Guess what? Turns out the Republican Voters of Texas PAC is a bunch of Republican voters in Texas who formed a PAC. I don't know how more honest you can get in advertising, and yet here we are with the Tea Party PAC, right, that goes out and says, here's a Republican voter guide. They're okay. They do. I've seen them do it at the polls. I've seen them do it at the polls.
Could everybody please be quiet except for Mr. Baker?
I've
He
seen
has
them
the
do it at the
floor.
polls. And moreover, we have not condemned the RVTX PAC because we are a new body every 2 years. In fact, you fought really hard to make sure that we were a new body every 2 years and that and anything dies at the end of the biennium and doesn't carry over to the next. This body has never condemned the RVTX PAC, period. This is a new body every 2 years, and in this biennium, we have not condemned them. If we're going to condemn one PAC for handing out paper that says Republican voter guide, we have to condemn them all. And in fact, there are 300 or so PACs around the state of Texas that use the word Republican in their name. And I noticed they're not on the list either. It's absolutely absurd. It's why I'm saying if you're going to condemn the RVTX, you should condemn the Tea Party too, and the Patriot, and everybody else. It's ridiculous.
And you all know that you're not supposed to clap during debate. We can clap when we have candidates or such, but we're not clapping during debate. You all know that. Next.
Hi, my name is Dale Lindman, Precinct 27. I'm really speaking against Scott's motion, my colleague and friend. Maybe people know his dad was my oldest daughter's second grade history teacher at Covenant Christian 30 years ago, or thereabouts, 25 years ago. Well, I'm speaking against it. I think the issue, at least for me, I can't speak for everyone in the room. I remember years ago, if anyone was here 30 years ago doing this, there was a Republican Leadership Council, RLC, Jim Jenkins, Eric Yalick, some of those guys. And I remember Dr. Wally, God rest his soul, great man. He said, you cannot do that, that's terrible. If you have the name Republican in your name, that is verboten, you can't do it, it's confusing. And most of us for the last 30 years never used the word Republican in the name of the PAC, based on Dr. Wally saying don't do it. I think in the, what Kim Weber read a moment ago, it said that Wally, I think back in some time ago, had said there was a group out of Houston, Dr. Hotze's group, I think had the name Republican. It's not saying it's a Republican voter guide, it's having it in the name of your PAC is confusing to the voters. Now, I will say, Mr. Baker, maybe not to you, but to a lot of people it is. I've had people say, oh, I want the Republican one. Well, it is a Republican one. Now, just to show how honest some people in this room are, and I think we're all honest brokers, I, the other day, put a post on, had the Montgomery County Tea Party posting and who the candidates were, and said, hey guys, this is a Republican Montgomery County Tea Party voter guide. Me and Bob did not set this up. Bob Bagley called me and said, hey Dale, you need to remove the word Republican from your statement. This is a Republican voter guide, not the Republican voter guide. And I just got a call in the middle of the afternoon. I went and changed it. You can go look. Me and Bob did not set this up right now. But Bob told me, Dale, that is inappropriate to say we are the Republican voter guide. We're a Republican voter guide. We don't use the word Republican. It's not the Montgomery County Tea Party Republican Party. It's the Montgomery County Tea Party PAC. So there's a lot of people in the room that the issue is not that you can use the word Republican. It's calling your name the Republican, a Republican PAC. And again, Mr. Baker, I know you keep doing this. You may understand it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are confused when you say this is the Republican voter guide. And it's Republican voters of Texas. It is confusing to some people. Maybe not to the 10%, 15% that do this every day, because the 90% of voters, oh yeah, I want the Republican one. So I think that's just informational and history of why we've never done that. And even Dr. Wally condemned it multiple times. RLC, Dr. Hotze's group has been condemned by Dr. Wally.
I'm Tammy Lake from Precinct 65. I'd like to thank the Republican voters of Texas who are here tonight. Let's talk about real deception. What our newer precinct chairs may not realize is that the majority of the current precinct chairs and all of the current CEC leaders are members of the Montgomery County Tea Party PAC. And what better way to silence?
I understand your reason for groaning at that, but I'm asking you to please remain silent. You all know the truth, and you will vote accordingly. Robert.
I am not a member, I
I didn't say
Officer
you
of the
were.
party. You said all
I
of the
did not.
officers of the party. Yes,
Okay, Robert, okay,
don't ever.
These over here.
okay,
You're gonna
so,
attack me?
You don't know.
That's professional.
okay.
Anyway,
Continue, and everyone please try to be silent. I know it's hard when such items are said, but anyway.
Anyway, so they are a different PAC than the Republican Voters of Texas PAC. What better way to silence your political competition than to vote to condemn them? That's not fairness, that's deception. Consider this. The CEC, a committee on the CEC, the Victory Committee, recently posted a list of endorsed precinct chairs from the Montgomery County Tea Party PAC on our official CEC website. And it appears, because it's on our website from the CEC, that the Montgomery County Republicans are also endorsing the Tea Party PAC endorsed candidates. This post has since been removed once it was pointed out. Thank you, Madam Chairman. But that posting should have never been allowed on what is supposed to be a neutral website, our website. So when you start talking about deception, just wanted to point that out. You might want to think about that for you new voters. Look, I think it's healthy to have multiple PACs. I think it's healthy to compete. I think it's fun to compete. I have been personally attacked by some of the precinct chairs in this room. It's not a lot of fun to get personally attacked when, in my personal life, I don't get personally attacked. But my point here is the fact that deception, there's enough of that to go around, and we should be able to have healthy competition between the two groups, and the goal should be to elect Republican representatives. Thank you.
Okay, Dale?
Would my friend Miss Lake answer just one question, it's not a gotcha. Are you aware that Joe Sager, who's been dead for several years, that's his site? No one alive today has that site. That's not a Tea Party site. It's not a party site. Joe Sager created that webpage.
What webpage?
So the webpage she mentioned that was on the official party page.
John.
Victory something? Joe Sager's the admin. He's been dead for 3 or 4 years now.
It's John Barber's webpage.
It was never created. Someone took it. Do you see how confusing it can be?
Exactly.
Someone made a name who's no longer alive though. And I just was asking.
Okay, if we could stop the debate that's between, I appreciate what you have to say, Dale, because I was personally involved in it, so I appreciate what you're trying to do. But we're gonna move on with the actual debate so we can move to the vote.
Good evening, Lana Horde, Precinct Chair 106. I want to bring your attention to the resolution and make a distinction that I believe Mr. Baker's amendment glosses over. And two particular things in the paragraph that starts with, whereas the Republican Voters of Texas PAC, 7 down, 7 whereas is down. There's some very specific language there that says, presented with the words Republican Voter Guide, and I'll show you an example of what that looks like, right here, with those words in a prominent manner at the top of the document, with the required attribution statements of, quote, paid political advertisements by Republican Voters of Texas PAC, unquote, in a much less prominent location and size, as to reasonably cause voters to believe, okay? That's an important distinction, because you see the font size here at the very top is very large.
So is that
If I were,
is that current? That's last.
it was last year's, last
We're not discussing amongst ourselves. She has the floor.
These are all the same size. They're some of the largest font size on the page. The paid political advertising, which clearly defines who's paying for it, is in a much, much smaller font size down at the bottom. I think the distinction that this resolution is making is that if you're showing an intent, which is what the law refers to deceive, if you do not give equal space on the page to the words Republican Voter Guide as you do your identity as a PAC. Your logo, your brand, your name should also be very prominently displayed if you're going to use those words. And most appropriately, they should be clarifiers. I have the floor, Mr. Baker, wait just a moment. They should be clarifiers of the name. They should be adjectives that clarify the name. Okay, so I make that distinction. I also make the distinction that what this resolution is addressing is a violation of law. We're not talking about a conceptual thing here. I would reread for you the Texas Election Code 25505. A person commits an offense if, with the intent to injure a candidate or influence the result of an election. Every single one of these pieces of paper has an intent to influence the result of an election. Can we agree upon that? That is the purpose of a PAC, is to influence the result of an election. So that's an established fact. Where it becomes a violation is when they act or purport to act as an agent, misrepresenting the identity of the principal. What is the principal in all these? In this, it's the Republican Voters of Texas. In this one, it's the Montgomery County Tea Party. In this one, it's the True Texas PAC.
Okay, Lana, time is up. Thank you, thank you. All right, we're moving to the vote. We've had 3 for, 3 against. All those in favor of the amendment to the motion? Is someone waving at me? Nope. Okay, so all those in favor of this amendment to the motion, Scott's amendment, please say aye. Aye. All those that are opposed to the amendment, please say. Nay. Well, I am ruling for the nays. We are moving on to the actual motion that was being discussed. So Kim's motion, which has been properly seconded, all those that, are you ready to move to debate?
Madam Chair, I would like to make this a roll call vote. When we take a vote.
Okay, well that's a separate motion, so we're going to go in order of the way that I saw the people standing. I can't remember who, there was somebody there, but it was Susan.
I was gonna make the same motion. Can I amend that motion, please? Can we do secret ballot?
Okay, so.
That's not a roll call,
I'm trying to keep up. All right, so we have a motion for secret ballot. Do we have a second? Yes. All right, all those in favor of secret ballot, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Nay. I'm calling nay. Okay, we're moving forward.
Can a guest ask a question?
No. Absolutely not. Please do not speak. Okay, we're moving forward. Is there any,
Discussion.
Oh, we're in discussion for the main motion. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Roll call motion.
Well, shoot, that will be an interrupting motion if she makes it.
I rise
We have Scott Baker rising.
to speak against the motion, or speak against the resolution.
Okay, well, we're in debate for the main motion. All those, we should have 3 for and 3 against. If you are not here in the front, lined up, you will not be permitted to speak.
I say, I'm Betty Anderson, precinct 31, and I say deceptive campaigning is a form of voter fraud. Deception causes division within the party.
In 2020, the Republican Voters of Texas Political Action Committee recruited and endorsed candidates for precinct chairs that they ran against me and 30 others, 31. They weren't an official organization recognized by our Montgomery County Republican Party, and they never had regular meetings. The RVT was created to oppose 31 precinct chairs and help some of Kristen Criss' clients, including her husband and Charlie Riley, get elected. My opponent had several people passing out RVT voter guides at early voting and at our Election Day polling location. They were asking voters if they wanted the Republican voter guide, to which many would say, oh yes, I want the Republican guide. I talked to one of the workers there volunteering for my opponent who told me she was being paid $15 an hour to do this. Meanwhile, Montgomery County Tea Party volunteers were in the parking lot too, passing out voter guides which had a different slate of Republicans listed, including me on that guide. The RVT PAC endorsements were almost totally opposite the Tea Party slate. Many voters were angry when they realized that they'd been deceived by the RVT. I mean, they were really mad. Many of the top donors to this RVT PAC, according to the financial report that year, were either Charlie Riley, James Metz, their contractors, or the candidates who wanted to get endorsed and elected by this Republican-sounding PAC. And this is similar to the fake Tea Party of 2014 called Texas Conservatives Tea Party Coalition. And they were wearing red generic shirts with Tea Party labeled on the back. Similar donors and supporters wearing a similar style of, using a similar style of deceiving the voters. Except they just had a new name. In 2020, it was Republican Voters of Texas Political Action Committee. So the fake Tea Party, the Texas Conservative Tea Party Coalition, and Republican Voters.
Miss Betty, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
They have called time on you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next.
I really don't get up here and say much, you guys. But after seeing this thing, I'm offended. You basically have told me now that I'm not a conservative. Basically, you're saying that I'm not a Republican. Because this says, just because it says GOP, what's GOP stand for? Republican Party. Grand old party. But you guys have just told me, and you're telling people now, that I'm not a conservative. I am not a Republican. Vote for the other guy. If that's not deceiving, what is?
I have asked that you not clap. It's against the rules. Please, no cat clapping. Yes? You may ask a question.
Is there anything to prevent a Democratic Party from labeling themselves a Republican?
So you call me a Democrat now?
I'm asking.
Okay, there will be no discussion between the two of you. I really don't know the answer. Okay, next.
I'm Scott Robbins, Precinct 33, and I'm speaking in favor of the motion. So we all heard when the motion was read to us, word for word, all the whereases, all the resolves, etc. I think it gets summed up right in the middle, and I'm only gonna read the one sentence that I think sums this up. It says, whereas schemes that rely on voter confusion, misrepresentation, or the misuse of the Republican Party name, symbols, or reputation are unethical and undermine the integrity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That covers it. It's simply unethical. They're pretending to represent the Republican Party. This simply states we're not going to tolerate it. This restates our position that we've stated over and over and over again. The Republican Party is the Republican Party, and we condemn anybody else who's pretending to be the party. The main offender is named in here because they're the main offender. So I would urge everybody to vote yes on the motion. It simply reaffirms the position we of the body has held for years. Yield back my time.
Next.
According to the Republican Party of Texas, Republicans are people who vote for Republicans. Looked it up just to make sure. But the RVTX PAC is made up of a committee of Republican voters from 8 Republican clubs across Montgomery County. Again, a lot of them are here today. Thank you for coming. Grassroots leaders who spent decades with an S, walking precincts, knocking doors, and growing our party. Many of the members are here tonight, and each one of them lives in one of our precincts. These are all Republican voters who play a real role in turning out the vote. The CEC is supposed to stay neutral in Republican primaries, not operate like a PAC. Sadly, that line has been crossed. When you vote, remember who truly represents you, the grassroots Republicans. You're gonna condemn, we need to grow the Republican Party. This sounds like we wanna shut it down, and we wanna exclude some people, and we wanna hurt some people, and we wanna make it to where they can't talk to people at the polls. So remember that when you vote. Let's stand for truth, transparency, and unity, and join me in voting against this resolution.
Next.
Wendy Sue Yaki, Precinct 66, and I am speaking for this motion, or this resolution. I have to say first, this body has approximately 120 precinct chairs, 110, whatever, and there's probably not 10 people that are precinct chairs that are members of the Tea Party. So that just needs to stop. Now, if you look at the Republican Voters of Texas voter guide, you can clearly see at the top, Republican voter guide. When they're out at the polls for years, you are standing next to them, they hand out their voter guide and they say, would you like the Republican voter guide? I have gotten so tired of telling them, you cannot say that, you are misrepresenting. I got tired of saying it, I just sit there and sometimes they'll tell me, record it then. You know, they're so arrogant at this point, that Republican Voters of Texas PAC, that I'll show you. Their voter guide used to not say Republican voter guide. After being censured repeatedly last year, they thumb in your eye, wrote across the top of it in giant letters, Republican voter guide. That's why I love the last paragraph that says, we need action taken on it, because they're getting away with it, and each year they're ratcheting it up a notch. Well, that cannot stand. There needs to be consequences. They do not like accountability. Well, you're precinct chairs. You're here for accountability. So hold them accountable, please.
We are not a legislative body. We are not a law enforcement agency. We have no authority to claim that something is unlawful without some kind of reporting and action. There is no law been broken. The election code has not been broken. That is false. That is the deceptive thing here, is trying to claim that somehow the Republican voters of Texas have deceived people by telling people that they are Republican voters in the state of Texas and that they've created a voter guide endorsing Republicans. There's nothing deceptive about that at all. And in fact, the same thing you held up here says Republican voter guide, down here is the disclaimer, because that's the standard practice. In fact, the legal counsel, who's now a justice, several years ago, stated plainly that this body has no right to claim the Republican name as their own. It's simply not true. Nowhere on that guide does it say that the Republican voters of Texas claims to be the Republican Party of Texas or the Republican Party of Montgomery County. Nowhere. In none of those documents does it say that at all. In fact, it's crystal clear who it's from and what it's for. And no one has tried to deceive anybody. The deception here is someone trying to claim that it's somehow breaking a law and violating something. If it is, please, by all means, report it to the Texas Ethics Commission, right? We're filed with the Texas Ethics Commission. We're filed as a PAC, a legal PAC. The Supreme Court is guaranteed, and our Constitution protects our God-given right to freedom of speech. That's a fact. This is our freedom of speech. The Supreme Court has already ruled on cases about this, who can form a PAC and who cannot. Republicans can form a PAC supporting Republicans, and it's not deceptive, and it's not wrong, and you just don't like it. And that's what this is about. You've shown it.
Okay, so we are ready to move to the vote. Is everyone ready to vote?
I make a motion for a roll call vote.
We have a motion for a roll call vote. Do we have a second? We have a second. Wendy? All those in favor of a roll call vote, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. I believe the ayes have it, so we will have a roll call vote. So during this voting process, we're asking, please keep quiet, because it is imperative that the secretary be able to hear the answers as she calls the roll. So please do not go into discussion, especially the guests or the precinct chairs. We need to keep quiet so she can hear. Thank you.
We will have 3 people recording the vote. I'm asking Annette Kerr to record the vote. They're giving her the paper now. Terry Sherman is going to record the vote, and I will record the vote. The votes will be recorded as the number 1 for a yay vote in favor of the resolution as read. As 0 represents the nay vote. AB represents abstain, and X represents absent. Are there any questions?
1 is no, 0 is yes.
1 is yes, 0 is no. It's on the recording sheet.
What's the other 2?
I'm sorry?
What is the other 2?
1 equals yes.
No, ma'am, I said the other 2.
0 equals nay. AB is an abstain, and X is absent. Huh? You say yes or no. Okay?
I don't want to say yes or no, so what's my other 2 options?
Abstain. Abstain. Okay, it is also I want to have a reminder. During voting, we may not come and go. So David will not let anyone into the room that has left the room. There is no going and coming during voting. We'll stop that. Thank you. Well, we'll let Mr. Miller out. But he can't come back in. All right,
Ms.
doors
Kerr?
are closed.
Ms. Kerr, if you would identify the roll call vote record as the resolution as read. Daley Arbogast. Absent. Kent Frappier.
4, yay!
Alex Tandell.
4.
I can't hear you.
4.
Paul Gabolis, absent. Janelle Murray.
No.
Kenneth Ernest.
Yay!
Phoebe Wesley.
Yay.
William Kirchable.
Same thing.
Abstain.
Yes.
Quentin Smith.
Nay.
Clarence Lewis. Marlisa Stripling.
No.
Was that a no?
No.
Thank you. James Metz. Absent. Lori Clifton. Absent. Oscar Martinez. Absent. Gary Reynolds. Absent. Mark Frank. Absent. Dale Fessenden.
Yay.
Matthew Dancer. Absent. Our new precinct chair, David West.
4.
No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. 19, Daryl Wade.
That's Brandy Christenberry.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was somebody.
Yay.
Randy. And your vote?
Yay.
Thank you. Susan Johnson.
No.
Evan Kendrick.
Yay.
Billy Jordan. Absent. Scott Baker.
No.
Robert Bagley.
Yes.
Wendy Lynch. Absent. Caleb Smith.
Yes.
Dale Inman.
Yes.
Stephen Kent.
Yes.
Linda Stuckey.
No.
Mark Ferber. Absent. Betty Anderson.
Yes.
Amy Van Horn.
Yes.
Scott Robbins.
Yes.
Now our new guy, David West.
Yes.
Tammy Kelber.
Yes.
Paul Croson. Absent. Terry Kropick.
Yes.
Stacy Buick.
No.
Brad Vickers. Absent. Jan Nell.
No.
41 is vacant. Jamie Nash.
No.
Charlotte Belen.
No.
John Schluter.
Yes.
Kat Rummel. Absent. Peter Stees.
Yes.
Mark Fusca.
Yes.
Steve Lawrence.
Yes.
Adrian Heath.
Abstain.
Christina Lightfoot. Absent. Johnny Reyes. Absent. Wayne Pearson.
Yes.
Chris Crawford. Absent. Tom Grega.
Yes.
Sarah Allison.
Yes.
Keith Lincoln. Absent. Elizabeth Ricard.
Yes.
Allison Winter.
Yes.
Judy Thomas.
No.
Donna McAleer.
Yes.
Stephen Wright. Absent. Herschel Williams.
Yes.
Roy Jimenez. Absent. Tammy Lake.
No.
Wendy Yockey.
Yes.
Denise Boyd.
Abstain.
68. Lorraine.
Yes.
John Wirtz.
Yes.
John Munich. Absent. Kathy Lucetta.
Yes.
Ann Kate.
No.
Rick Vandenberg. Absent. Paige Tooker.
Yes.
Larry Rogers.
Yes.
Paul Gregory.
Yes.
Josh Jaros.
Yes.
Keith Wagner. Absent. Richard Von Robel. Absent. Susan Love.
Yes.
Blake Hall.
Yes.
Daniel Stage.
Yes.
Jeff Zedlar.
Yes.
Bonnie Gross. Absent. David Johns.
Yes.
Robert Walker.
Yes.
Charles Shirley.
Yes.
Melinda Olin.
Yes.
Gilbert Hilscher.
No.
Annette Kerr.
No.
Justin Stidham. Absent. Edward Arnold. Absent. Mary Lewis.
Yes.
Sherry Tavel. Absent. Louis Yepes.
Yes.
Kim Weber.
Yes.
Stephanie Cox.
Yes.
Thomas Conley.
No.
Anna Wynn. Absent. Stacy Kellum.
No.
Michael Anderson.
Yes.
Diane Campbell. Absent. Lexi Pfister.
Yay.
Lana Horde.
Yes.
Jackie Williams.
Yes.
Graham Church.
Yes.
Karen Zeller.
Yes.
Louis Pedraza.
Yes.
Ronnie Trojanowski. Absent. Ben Walsh.
Yes.
Wendy Taylor. Absent. Castle Towery.
Yes.
Sean Nelson.
Abstain.
Okay, give us a few minutes to count it up.
Okay, before they start counting, Mr. Inman was not in the room and came into the room after the voting had started. I'm sorry, Dale, I love you, you know that, I'm sorry.
She called my name and I voted.
Well, we're going to call your vote void, sorry. I'm sorry, I am surely being fair to both sides. I would not do that. So we have been given the results of this vote. We have 56 yes.
It's exciting here, man.
Yes. Quite. 56 yes, 18 nays, 4 abstain, 32 absent, and 1 invalid. I'm sorry, Dale. So the motion passes 56 to 18. Thank you. All right, back to the resolution committee. Please allow people back into the room. And remember, if you leave and we start voting, you can't get back in. So, but everyone who's there now can come back into the room. All right, continue resolution.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay. The third resolution is the resolution to declare sorry, let me start that again. The resolution to declare prior motion null and void and acknowledge resolutions of censure not adopted. Submitted by Precinct 23 Chair Scott Baker. The Resolutions Committee reviewed this resolution and unanimously does not recommend passage. You can present.
You all have a copy of this, but I'm going to read it so it's in the record. Resolution to declare prior motion null and void and acknowledge resolutions of censure not adopted. Whereas on Tuesday, November 2nd, the County Executive Committee passed a motion denying support to candidates Will Metcalf and Cecil Bell Jr., hereinafter referred to as the denial motion. And whereas the denial motion was explicitly based on resolutions of censure, hereinafter referred to as the censure resolutions, adopted against said candidates, and whereas the rules governing this committee, specifically CEC bylaw 11.03, which the censure resolutions were submitted under as evidenced by Exhibit F, CEC document from the March 4th, 2025 CEC meeting, explicitly requires a 2/3 supermajority vote for the passage of any associated resolution of censure. And whereas the censure resolutions did not achieve the required 2/3 supermajority vote as evidenced by the official vote tally from the meeting minutes dated March 4th, 2025, showing only 52 votes in favor out of 88 total votes cast, resulting in less than 2/3 support. And whereas the failure of the censure resolutions to meet the required voting threshold renders them invalid and without effect, and whereas the denial motion, being wholly dependent upon the validity of the invalid censure resolutions, is therefore itself null and void. Now therefore be it resolved that the censure resolutions against candidates Will Metcalf and Cecil Bell are hereby declared invalid due to a failure to obtain the required 2/3 supermajority vote. 2, the denial motion is hereby declared null and void as it lacks a valid foundational basis. 3, the committee shall immediately restore any support, endorsements, or resources to candidates Will Metcalf and Cecil Bell Jr. that were withheld pursuant to the denial motion unless otherwise determined by a subsequent valid action of the committee. 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption. Moved by Scott Baker, February 3rd, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
That's his resolution.
I move to adopt this resolution.
And we have a second from Judy. Yes, sir?
Madam Chair, can I trust the mic?
Yes.
The resolution currently before the body is out of order. It should be ruled invalid and dismissed for the following reasons under Robert's Rules of Order. First, the resolution challenging the prior action relies on draft language that was never adopted by this body. Under Robert's Rules, only the motion as finally stated by the chair and voted on by the assembly has any parliamentary force or effect. The whereases and the therefores are simply misstatements of fact. This never happened. So, for these reasons, I request the chair rule the pending resolution out of order as it is based on non-operative draft language and not the language that the body voted on, argued over for 2 hours, and is posted on the website to this day. The resolution argues that we had a censure based on 1103 Rule 44. We did not. We absolutely did not. We had a resolution and a motion on section 7.03, which is a county censure, not a Rule 44. This was argued for 2 hours. During that 2-hour time frame, if anybody wants to fact check me, I'm going to talk really fast. You can see the video of that meeting. It is rumble.com/V6Q5042-CEC. In that video, and I'm going to be specific, and I'm going to quote Mr. Baker along with others. Number 1, at the 1 hour 33-minute timestamp on that video, it was said, and said it wasn't a Rule 44. Sunday Sibley said this. She referenced the wrong section of bylaws for the resolution, which is 7.03. At 1 hour 42 minutes, Mr. Baker said it was a Rule 44, and he was considered out of order by the chair. At 1 hour 54 minutes 47 seconds, Cecil Bell Jr., the target of the resolution, one of 2 targets, out of the current resolution, points out that the current resolution and the Rule 44 resolution are not the same documents. And he got the Rule 44 only to get the revised censure resolution the night before. Will Metcalf, the other target of the censure resolution, reads the original Rule 44. He got the prior Tuesday, again pointing out that they are not the same document. At 2 hours and 9 seconds, and Kate points out that there are 3 documents in play. The Rule 44 censure, which Mr. Baker's motion is attempting to address, a letter of condemnation, and a current resolution of censure being debated, the 703, which is what we passed, not a Rule 44. Anyone can see it on the website. At 2 hours and 17 minutes, Mr. Baker admits the document was changed because the criteria for Rule 44 was not met. We did not vote on a Rule 44. Mr. Baker's resolution is therefore null and void, should be dismissed immediately because it claims we voted on a Rule 44. We did not. It claims we voted on 1103. We did not. It's in the minutes, it's on the website, you can see the video.
Point of information, are you saying that we voted on a resolution of censure that was not associated with Rule 44? Correct.
That's right, the 703.
Just a general resolution brought before the body.
Right, just a
All right,
county
at
censure.
this point, I'd like to make a parliamentarian inquiry.
Can he finish
All right.
his speaking?
No. I'm making, the parliamentarian inquiries trump everything. Gentlemen has stated that we voted on a censure resolution that was brought before the body, not a Rule 44. Since we didn't have a resolutions committee, it requires a 3/4 majority to pass. We didn't have 3/4 majorities.
I'll speak to that. No.
No, that's in our parliamentarians.
No, I'm going to speak to that.
I'm asking the parliamentarian and the chair. Sorry.
May I also address the parliamentarian?
Suppressors, short barrel, that should be taken.
Point of information, why is everyone allowed to come up there? No, why is everyone allowed to come up there? Now, why are you having
So just for clarification, for everybody to be aware, when a point of order is called, typically you don't hash it out here up front. What it's supposed to be is one side that is for the point of order, and one side that's opposed to it, come here and talk to the parliamentarian about it. That's how it's supposed to be done. And yes, that's what's currently being discussed. I understand there's some questions and comments, but that's what's supposed to be done, and that's what's currently going on. So,
one person,
so
not everybody?
no, it's supposed to be one person that is in favor of the point of order,
But
and
it's
one
been
that's.
several people.
I understand that, several things have been presented, but, Madam Chair,
But that's not a.
Madam Chair, while they're hashing this out, if you would put everybody at ease, so they can just do whatever they want off front.
Adrian, may I ask what your position is up there?
I'm just helping out Peter while he's dealing with this, because you've got parliamentary course coming, you've got him coming.
But where is your standing to do that?
I know,
So
the points that were raised by the member raising the point of order pertain to factual matters in the resolution. That, the resolution could be entirely wrong, could be incorrect. That doesn't mean it's out of order. It means it's incorrect. It doesn't mean it's out of order. So all the errors that the member raising the point of order is bringing up, they may or may not be valid. Let's assume they're all valid. That doesn't mean the resolution is out of order. It just means it's wrong. So that, the member's point of order, I don't see anything out of order with the resolution. The things he's raising would be things to raise in the debate as to why to vote against it.
You're referencing my
We're not on your point of order.
Okay.
We're on, well, yes.
Okay, the point of order has been withdrawn, and we are going into debate.
I have a second point of order.
We have a second point of order.
No, we haven't answered the parliamentary inquiry.
Go.
Is the parliamentary inquiry completed?
No.
No.
Yes.
It was a point of order, and the chair said that it ruled that way. So that point of order is done. If there's another point of order, that would be ahead of your inquiry.
I had a request for information.
Okay, if everybody could just pause, the secretary needs to get caught up.
There was a point of inquiry by Mr. Elsher, asked if the censure task was not a Rule 44, respond indicating that it required a three-fourths vote. Has that been addressed? So you're fixing the rule on it?
Okay, your point of order.
I was point of inquiry.
Oh,
I just
point
want
of
to
inquiry.
clarify.
Okay.
Clarifying that this was a resolution of censure that was brought before this body and voted upon. Then I had a parliamentary inquiry saying that if that is the case, since we did not have a resolutions committee at the time, that vote should have had a 3/4 of the body voting in the affirmative for it to pass.
Correct.
7-0. Challenging my motion, can I address it?
Give the reference to that, please.
It's in the resolutions section.
Can I address it?
No.
It does, it's right here.
The resolutions committee.
There were 88 people present.
Resolutions adopted by the CEC.
You're out of order, sir.
You think you're not
This is parliamentary.
stand up. You're not back down.
You got like 3 minutes to speak on your point of order, so why don't we?
Somebody read the resolution.
You're not doing anything right now, so you're not anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, the parliamentarian reminds me that that point was brought up that night that we had the discussion, and it was realized and stated that the motion went through the steering committee, and they were acting as that committee. Thank you. So that is the ruling. Thank you.
I thought you said you were going to tell the truth.
DeQuarez.
Go.
Is it appropriate for me to make a second point of order at this time?
Yes.
I believe that Robert's rules indicates that there are only two types of motions that are in order once the assembly has decided, and that would be a motion to reconsider, which Mr. Baker's not qualified to make because he wasn't part of the prevailing party. There's one other type of motion that can be made, and his motion doesn't qualify as that either. So I believe that's a significant point of order. This may be an end run around how to make a motion to reconsider.
Yes, and the other method is a motion to rescind or amend, which can be made at any time. Why do you consider that not a valid approach?
He has not titled his motion with the intent to amend or rescind. He has titled it to make it null and void, which is not the same thing. And it also is, I just lost my thought, I'm sorry. The title of the motion as well as the initial whereas is based upon a date when we didn't meet. We did not meet November 2nd. There are no minutes for November 2nd. So again, sometimes mistakes are made, like a citation of 1103 of a bylaw when it should have been 703. Those are procedural errors. I am assuming that you would expect that this would be interpreted as December 2nd, which was your intent, because you referenced a date when we didn't meet.
It's a minor clerical error.
Well, it's not a clerical, it's a procedural error according to Robert's rules. And it's the same thing that we're talking about here, in the sense that,
Yeah.
no, we did not. There are no minutes for November 25. We don't usually meet in November because there's often an election.
That is I think that's a valid point of order. The motion, the other way is a motion to rescind or to amend something previously adopted. And yeah, I agree that those exact words weren't used, but that is the intent, and I think it's that could be accommodated as a motion to rescind or amend. Null and void is the same meaning as rescind. Excuse me. So I think it would qualify with the intent of a motion to rescind, and that's the way I would look at it. And that's section 35 in Robert's Rules.
One other point of order. Can the motion rescind or amend two other main motions at the same time, which this appears to do? It references two different main motions. The rescission of two, not just one.
Yes, it can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, basically it can be applied to anything, a bylaw, rule, a policy, a decision, or choice which has continuing force and effect, and which was made or created at any time or times as a result of the adoption of one or more main motions. So you can't rescind something, like if you made a motion to sell a copier and the copier's been sold, you can't rescind that. But if something is in force and continuing, then it can be rescinded, and it can be one or more.
Doesn't Roberts also indicate that it's not in order if the action cannot be undone, like you talked about with the copier, or if the damages that were created from the action cannot be reversed, which I believe in this case, that is the case.
I see what you're saying, that there was a time that this was in effect.
Time-sensitive motion.
Yes. But the effect is, it can be reversed. So if it was reversed, then you could no longer go on saying what, or holding to whatever had been passed previously. So yes, I think it can be rescinded. Something that can't be reversed would be something that's already been accomplished.
With Roberts, in the reading of Roberts I made, it indicated, it had an indication of damages that could not be undone. And in this case, I believe, because the time-sensitive nature and the nature of a censure, that damages occurred that cannot be reversed at this point in time.
Well, I think that's speaking of a what we call perfected action.
Yes.
And so if something has been perfected and you can't undo it, damages that you can't undo, Yes, but this is not a perfected action in that sense. It has continuing. It's imperfect in terms of its sense. So I think it can be undone.
Are we moving to debate on the motion itself at this point, if there are no further?
That's
Yeah. A question for the chair, sorry.
Okay, are there any other points of order? Seeing none, we're moving into debate. We will need 3 for and 3 against. Yes, ma'am.
I have a point of inquiry. How, you say that the steering committee was acting in place of the resolutions committee. Did you do that on all resolutions?
We did not. We just did that on this resolution, but it was discussed that night. Thank you.
Wait a minute, not in public.
Well, I thought we just decided there weren't any more, but go ahead.
So if your assertion is that the steering committee took place of the resolutions committee, our bylaws specifically prohibit that resolutions must go through a committee. And Robert's rules also require, if a committee is specifically for a purpose, you must use that committee.
Well, you'll have to take that up with the parliamentarian because he disagrees with you.
Would mine go first?
Yeah, he would have to, his would have to go first. Yeah. Oh, John, let's go first. And that's just something
Here, what rule are you citing? Right, but that committee, there was no committee. Which was by the CEC.
It does.
It's just like your error on rescind and it's it wasn't an ad hoc committee, it was a steering committee that reviewed it in its place.
That's a funny point. That's what I was. They're selling. If you took a hand vote, we'd all say. That's not what they're selling. Because when they told me to vote a certain way, and I told them.
Okay, the parliamentarian has ruled. Did you just make a joke or do you really have one, an inquiry? Oh, okay.
I would point out that Roberts is also conceptually based on a concept that as long as a correct procedure would not have impacted the outcome of the vote, that it falls under a procedural error in nature. And would ask whether the parliamentarian can confirm that if my reading is correct.
I think yes.
Okay, we are moving into debate. We have 3. Have to think here. 3 for and 3 against. If you're not up here, then you will not be allowed to speak when we start.
Mr. Robbins is incorrect in virtually everything he said about what his claim is. In fact, this resolution specifically references the meeting minutes and the exhibits from our documents, the CEC documents, not a draft resolution, not some other instrument or other legal thing. It specifically references Exhibit F, which was read by Precinct Chair Shibley the night of the resolution to introduce a resolution of censure that applies only to Montgomery County per our bylaws, Article 11, 11.03. This is the meeting minutes from that night. Specifically refers to presentation of Exhibit F, and then the resolution is Exhibit G. The motion was made under our bylaws, 11.03. our bylaws, 11.03, specifically require, in the very first line of it, it says the CEC may, by a 2/3 vote of those present and with 50% or more of the members voting, adopt a resolution censuring a Republican public or party office holder. And then it goes on. From the same minutes, we have the vote tally. Documents are scaled here now. Regardless, the CEC minutes specifically reference a vote of 52-4 out of 88 total voting. That is not 2/3. This is simple math. The resolutions did not pass according to the test that they were entered under by Precinct Chair Sunday Shibley, and therefore no penalties can be assigned to any resolution of censure because the resolution of censure did not pass. This would hold up in a court of law.
You're not a court of law.
I never claimed to be a court of law. I said this would hold up in a court of law. It's simple math. It is not 2/3. If it was presented under 7.03, as he just stated incorrectly, it would have also not passed because 7.03, as we've established over the last few months, required 75%. If it didn't make 2/3, it wouldn't make 75%. Yes, that is true. It did not go through a resolutions committee as required by our bylaws. It would have been required to be presented on the floor and get 75%. It did not get 2/3. It did not get 75%. The simple math is that you guys are just plain denial about and trying to claim I've claimed all sorts of other things. What I'm claiming now and what I've claimed in multiple videos and I've said multiple times is that this did not pass per 11.03, which it was entered under. You cannot assume the motion meant something that it did not. The motion was under 11.03. 11.03 requires 2/3. It did not get 2/3. The end.
Next. Okay, we have one over here, and then I'll get to yours. Yes?
You just quoted another.
Wait, we can't address one another. I'm sorry.
Scott Baker claims that night there were 88 voters and 88 votes cast, and I question that number. I believe the total number of votes cast that evening was 77, and the reason I believe that is because I counted the votes. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Robert?
The title of this resolution says to declare a prior motion null and void, acknowledge resolutions of censure not adopted. So, if they weren't adopted, what are we going to declare null and void?
Okay, well, you waited till the parliamentarian had walked out. He's walking back in. Can you repeat it?
The title of the resolution is to declare prior motion null and void and acknowledge resolutions of censure not adopted. And if he's claiming that they're not adopted, then how do you declare them null and void? And that's what the title of his resolution is. So were they adopted or were they not adopted?
This is he's trying to bring a motion to rescind. Yes, those are, I would say, they're irregularities in the wording, but the intent is a motion to rescind. That's how it should be considered.
You're a psycho.
My esteemed colleague, Mr. Baker, said I was incorrect. I am very correct, and he is incorrect. We did not need a 2/3 vote because this was not a Rule 44 censure. It was introduced as an 1103, and during debate, 2 hours worth of debate, it changed over to a 703.
11.03.
703. 11.03. Thank you, appreciate your input.
Reading is fundamental.
We did not need a 2/3 vote. We did not need a 75% vote. We needed 50% plus 1, and we got it, because this was a 703 censure, a county censure. The body censured Will Metcalf and Cecil Bell. If it was a Rule 44 censure, they'd be thrown off the ballot. They wouldn't be allowed to be Republicans anymore. We didn't do any of that. We simply censured these two for what they did, and the vote was valid. I'll continue. The reason this is important is debate is not resolution, it's debate. At the conclusion of our debate on the original censure resolution for March 4, 2025, the chair clearly restated the final perfected language, and the body voted on that language as stated. Not what he's putting, but what we voted on, they're all there. That is the only version of the resolution that was adopted. Not an 1103, not a Rule 44. Any earlier draft wording discussed during the debate was superseded and extinguished upon adoption and has no legal or parliamentary effect. Our resolution passed by 50% plus whatever it needed. Second, the resolution, as officially published on the party's website, reflects exactly the language that was adopted by the body, not his made-up language. The published resolution does not contain the language now being cited in this challenge, nor does it in any way conflict with state law, party bylaws, or local party rules. Therefore, there is no continuing breach that would permit a late challenge. Third, the points now being contested were raised, clarified, and resolved during the debate on March 4th, prior to the vote. No point of order was timely raised at the time under Robert's rules.
Yes, it
Failure
was.
to raise an objection at the time at the alleged breach constitutes a waiver of that objection, absent a clear violation of law or bylaws, which does not exist here. Finally, the explicit language, the draft language, proposed wording, or parliamentary text, preliminary text I meant, has no parliamentary standing. The Assembly acts through motions that are formally adopted in the attempt to invalidate and adopt a resolution based on language that was never voted on. It is procedurally improper, contrary to fundamental parliamentary principles. Those are facts. My opinion is Mr. Baker is contesting this for one reason. He's running for chair, and he wants to sabotage this body, make it look bad, so that he can create some order out of chaos. That's the point. He wants to be the chair, and he wants to destroy the body in the process. I urge everybody to vote against this.
Okay, so we now have Linda.
Nice looking mailer.
Good evening, I'm Linda Stuckey, voter box number 29. Again, going back to the meeting notes from that night, the roll call vote recorded that there was 52 yes votes, 32 no, and 4 abstained. Clearly, that did not meet the required 2/3 supermajority vote as required by the CEC bylaw. As we just heard, the official vote tally doesn't do that. If you vote against this resolution, you're telling Montgomery County voters that you are willing to break the CEC bylaws, when the results don't go your way, and you're unwilling to accept voting results. I'll leave you with this. Pat Tibbs recently resigned from the Montgomery County Tea Party, and in her resignation, she said this: "We have a reputation of being open and honest, staying within the rules. The bylaws are the rules and the laws you're supposed to stay within as you operate a business. If you don't have those, without laws, you have chaos. I cannot be a part of the chaos. My reputation is worth more than that to me." That's part of the people that align with you that said that. This is my thing. We are supposed to be a party. We are supposed to work together. We are supposed to respect each other and listen to each other and try on each other's ideas. Instead, we throw up barriers immediately, just depending on who's speaking. Excuse me?
Please don't interrupt.
We really need to be
It's wrong.
quiet.
It's wrong. We need to all follow the same rules. We need to treat each other with respect. And we need to play nicely with each other. We're adults. Thank you.
Okay, next.
Point of inquiry, Madam Chairman.
Yes, ma'am, Susan.
Can the secretary look at what resolution, the language of the resolution that was passed, and read the minutes? Because if my memory serves, you you ruled that it did not pass.
Correct.
And that's what the minutes show. So this is like Groundhog Day. I don't understand how we're going back. Could we see could the secretary read what was in the minutes from the meeting after that resolution?
Well, we're in debate right now. We're going to continue in debate. So we have one more that is going to be against. One more against.
There's not a third to speak for, is there? Okay.
There isn't a third,
Okay.
so, and I'm not recognizing, we're not gonna I already stated, if you're not up here, you're not getting to debate. You're not getting to debate.
Thank you. In my opinion, this is a procedural error of the minutes at most. In the same manner that Mr. Baker cited the wrong date of November 2nd on his resolution, Sunday Shibley turned in initially a document that referenced 1103, which is the portion of the bylaws that only and singularly refers to Rule 44 censures. It was an error of procedure. At most, we need to amend the minutes if they do not read correctly at this point. We are going to determine if they do, I'm sure, but it is also, at most, an indication that the body itself made several egregious errors throughout the entire biennium. If indeed we passed any motion at any point in time, and there are 18 that are on the website right now, that came from the floor without a standing committee functioning with less than a 75% of those present and voting. My question is, does the body recognize that a good faith error could have been made? Or does it want to go back and redo absolutely every single motion that's on that website? Now, I'm going to put into the minutes 11 timestamps where this room understood completely what they were voting on by the time they voted on that resolution. People from the opposition and people that were for it also stated the exact same thing, recognizing Ms. Shibley stated it twice. The parliamentarian stated it once, and the chair restated it before the vote, because it was 2.5 hours before that initial mistake of the reference of 1103 became clear to the room as a whole, and we were ready to vote. I would challenge anyone who says, I would challenge the intellectual integrity of anyone in this room who says they were here that night and they voted on that resolution believing it was a Rule 44 resolution. There is no way you can be intellectually honest and admit that. And I'm entering these timestamps from the video record into the official record to prove that a number of people, including you, Mr. Baker, spoke and identified that the motion that was on the floor right now that we were voting on was not the same motion that had been delivered to Will Metcalf and Cecil Bell earlier in the week. Is that time? Yeah.
Have a parliamentary inquiry.
Are you finished, Lana? You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
So I would recommend if the body wants to address this in any way, it is to make it a correction in the minutes. If indeed the minutes do not reflect the strikeout of 1103, which everyone in the room agreed by the time we voted, that this was not a Rule 44. And it was stated 11 different times and at different points.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you. The debate has ended. Yes.
Does the parliamentarian agree that 11.04 is actually Rule 44, since it has different language from Rule 44 and has an apparent clerical error that says Rule 44 beside it?
We covered that.
Could you restate that, please, so I can get it down?
Does the parliamentarian agree that Rule 44 is the same rule as CEC Bylaw 11.03? I contend that it is not.
It is exactly the same.
CEC Bylaw 11.03. It has separate language from RPT Rule 44.
Call the question. Call the question.
We can only take one at a time.
So, section 1103, the copy that I have says censured candidate Rule 44 in the title.
It is not the same language.
Okay,
The
we have, okay.
The platform, the party rules, section 1103 title is censured candidate Rule 44. So it's implying that this is applying to Rule 44 in the party rules. No, the language is not the same as Rule 44 because it's not the state rules, it's our county bylaws. It is our county bylaws that pertain to matters dealing with Rule 44.
Okay, so, yes.
That makes no sense.
Okay, do we have a second for call the question? I see Scott over here. We have a second, so we're ready to vote. All those that are, yes, ma'am.
Second.
And we have a second for a roll call vote. Thank you, thank you.
Madam Chair, point of,
So all those, I'm sorry, we're now voting.
Point of
All
clarification.
those in favor
Point
of
of
a roll
clarification.
call vote, please say aye.
Aye.
point of,
Any opposed? Nay. I'm sorry, Kim. All right, we will not be having a roll call vote. So, all those in favor of Scott Baker's, oh, I thought we were,
I was asking for clarification.
oh, okay. So we're voting on calling the question. All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That's good. All right, so we're now voting on the motion of Scott Baker. All those in favor of Scott Baker's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay! Well, I think that's a clear nay, and I'm ruling it as such. Thank you. Moving along, fundraising. Oh, well, I should ask Castle if that concludes her report. Thank you. And does the fundraising committee wish to make a report?
I stayed for you, Scott. Thank you.
I knew it. So
We had a really great fundraiser, the gala, and if you want the financials, it's on the back of the finance statement. If you have any questions, let me know. Great turnout, thanks for everyone's help.
I just want to thank the fundraising committee. They worked incredibly hard, and they are a joy to work with because of their cooperative nature.
Gwen, can I ask them to stand up?
All right, we are asking everyone to be quiet. If you're leaving, that's okay, but just be quiet. If Jackie would like all of the fundraising committee to stand.
Sorry, that's funny.
All right. Peter, are you gonna give us tech report?
No tech report, only if you're still continuing to receive the spam type emails, please send them to me. But remember to send the email as an attachment, because it's only in the attachment can I see where the email came from. If you don't send it as an attachment, I see where your email came from. And I don't need that, I need the spam email.
Tell us Wynn's email one more time.
Pardon?
Tell us Wynn's correct email one more time.
I got a book.
What's her correct email?
When's the correct email?
Yeah.
I know it's a Yahoo email.
Withrow.
Or the chairman at MCTXGOP.org is their official email.
Which I hardly ever use, so I prefer withrow.g@yahoo.com. Okay, so are there any other committees who wish to report? Oh yeah, I forgot about Robert. And, well, Robert's already proceeding forward.
All right. I'm reporting on the election support. And currently, hey, shush.
No, there's aggression outside.
Hey, when is there an officer out there?
Like there's a fight. Lady's gonna run out there and defend everybody. Oh, I hope so. I know she could.
Okay. So currently, precinct chairs were supposed to have submitted their appointments for who they wanted in their precinct to represent them as the election judge and alternate judges. We didn't get a lot of response. We only have 88 election judges positions filled of 121, and leaving 33 unfilled at this point. We are in talks today with 3 possible EJs to fill some of the unfilled. There are 53 filled alternate judge positions, leaving 68 alternate judges. Remember, this is a primary election, and I told you all at the last CAC meeting that the Republican Party had to supply co-judges, a election judge and an alternate judge. So, if there's anybody who hasn't submitted something out there, then they need to do so. And I find it really interesting that somebody that wants to run for county chair has not supplied and appointed a election judge for his precinct in precinct 23. He did appoint an alternate, and that alternate is going to become the election judge for your precinct. So that's what elections told me
I asked her to be
when
the
I
judge.
spoke with them. So
I asked her to be the judge.
well,
And she said she would prefer to be the alternate.
She said, well, so
He's on the ballot.
is there anybody else in here that hasn't submitted anything to me and has somebody that will fill your role, the role of alternate or election judge? Yes, if you have somebody, we would like to receive that. I would also like it added to the record that the previous committee chairman and the other person that was on that committee did not, at the request of us, the steering committee and the chairman, turn over the records for the past elections, that they were working for the party, and nothing was turned over. We got 0 response and via emails, and Annette Kerr told me that none of the files were party business. They were all her personal files, and she wasn't turning over anything. So this is, when you wonder why this takes so long to get all this, and you have some of your judges that say, well, I haven't got anything yet. It's trying to get a concise list to get to Mia so that everything can be sent out rather than sending, you know, one or two at a time. So get with me after the meeting, and we will get with you.
Robert, I have a question.
Okay.
Does it feel like intentional sabotage?
Yes.
What's the question?
Yes, it does, because no information was turned over, and I got told, well, go ask Election Central for the information. Like, this is our party's election. And somebody stood up here and said that we needed to have unity and we needed to work together, and there's a whole group of people that are not doing that.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Is there any chance of us having a subpoena issued to Ms. Kerr to have her turn over those records?
I don't know that it's really worth it. It's just, you know,
Well, we'd have
yeah, I mean, we would have records, but, I mean, you know, it is what it is. We're trying to pick up the pieces where, you know, they may fall. So we'll get this together, and you can tell your judges that I'm working on an email to go out in the morning that will have the training code again for them. They should be getting it from Mia, but they will also get an email from us, and then there could be a opportunity for, it'll be a minimal number of clerks for them, because some of the clerks are allocated to the Democrat Party's side of this joint election. And so if they can't fill it, then I will be sending out a list. Mia's supposed to get that to me probably tomorrow, and I will get that in individual emails to each precinct's election judge that tells them how many clerks they have and what the Democrat allocation is for that precinct, and the contact information for whoever the co-judge and alternate co-judge is from the Democrat side, so that you can coordinate and tell them if you have people and they can't find anybody, then they can put those in their place. The other thing with that, you need to communicate to your judges, and I'll have this in the email, is that if they do allocate some to the other party, they need to keep track of who they are that has gone to the Democrat Party, because those people will be receiving a check from the Democrat Party and not the Republican Party, because the Democrats have to pay their fair share for the election costs. I don't know, depends on, you know, whether or not they get their USAID money or not.
Do they have any Somalis in their group?
I believe Denise has had her hand up for a while.
Well, this is a different question than I started with, but I did have a clerk ask me, will clerks and judges be expected to go through that whole pace setter process?
No. This will be paid directly from the parties.
A lot of people quit because I talked to Judge Kim last night. So I need to give him a call at his office and discuss it. Because I said, we're having a problem getting judges and clerks.
Yes, I can give you a list of that tonight. I'm just not sure, because we've turned it over to Mia. She's also out there looking for people other than, we've gone through all the lists, calling all the lists that we've been given from Election Central about judges and everything. And there's a lot of people that want a clerk, but they don't want a judge, so. Karen.
Yeah, Robert, so you said you're going to send a letter out just to the judges, so the Republican alternate judge will not be getting the letter?
No, the Republican alternate judges that we have will get the letter as well. Because that will have, I mean, because if they have to stand in, they need the same information. But this will be basically a copy of the training code and that information. And then there'll be a second email that'll go out once I have that will give their allocation of the number of clerks with who the Democrat co-judge is, so that they, can make contact with them now, because they'll need to, try to get training scheduled.
So the code will come from Election Central, or will it come from?
No, the code will come from Election Central. It should be, as Kent said, that he had already received his, so you should be getting that from Election Central. Mine will be duplicate, just in case somebody didn't see it, and so, just be looking for that.
Thank you all.
Somebody else, Robert.
His arm's gotta be getting tired.
Hey, so
Yes.
I'm new to all this, so I need to know, I expect to get a judge, an alternate, and clerks. I don't know what any of those roles are and how I go about finding those people, so who should I talk to?
Friends and.
Well, you can get with me afterwards, and we may have, that there could be somebody that has already been found that is,
Okay.
it just depends on the precinct.
All right, thanks.
Yes, Blake?
Robert, if you go to the Election Central website to sign up for training, it has information about Pay Center, that you still have to sign up for Pay Center.
Oh, really?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I will talk to me about that in the morning.
The code that has been given out for judges, both my alternate judge and election judge had difficulty, and I spoke to Mia about it. She said, tell everyone is completely cap sensitive. If you don't put it in exactly the way it's given to you, it's not gonna let you sign up for training, because a lot of people have made that mistake.
Yes, and I have that to put in my letter, that it is case sensitive for the password, so they need to check that to make sure that they've got the right entered correctly.
From this point forward, now that you've given it to Mia, if we come up with somebody else that can be a judge, who do we call?
Send it to both myself and DJ. And DJ, do you want them also copying, or we've got to, yeah, we'll send it to Mia, so that basically she can communicate, because she wants whatever finalized. So if you have somebody, we just need to contact them and verify that they are a registered voter and everything, and then we can send it to her. So just send it to DJ and I.
So I'm asking folks, when you go to your church, your Sunday school class, other type of activities that you might be, ask around and see if we can get some more election workers. We really desperately need them, and we need to be asking and trying to recruit these folks. Thank you.
And about clerks, we have a list going. We've had a lot of people inquire about clerking, and we're getting that list together. It's just we're trying to get the judge's place first, because that's the critical item, and then we'll get them kicked off, the ones that we have, in getting clerks, and the ones that run into problems and need clerks, we have some suggestions for people, and we'd like to try to place them close rather than having to go way across town from, for wherever they're at. So unless they like working, so some judges have crews that do that and are willing to do that, but for the new people, we'd like to get them as close to home as they can. Yes, Larry?
Our precinct conventions supposedly are going to be a week later or whatever. What if you've got a problem with it? Our community is mainly old folks, and they like to have that convention that night.
That is something that the KEC voted on, and it has been in place for a long time, so that calendar is, it is what it is, and so, it's just start communicating to your precinct that this is when it's gonna be, and
Information be out.
I'm only the doing the election support. You'll have to talk to the convention committee.
She's coming up next.
Okay.
My better half is nervous about publicity these days and would like some assurance that there hasn't been any history of disturbances at the polling places in Montgomery County.
Well,
Yeah, he can't speak.
are you a precinct chair?
Judge.
Oh, you're a judge?
Yes.
For the, okay, we'll have to talk with you after the meeting concludes, because outside parties can't be addressed in the CEC meeting.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert, for doing this. I really appreciated it.
Just real quick, because we got an important vote coming up here shortly in new business. Again, I want to thank Jackie Williams for what she's done. Let me tell you, we had a gala, we had an Austin bus trip, we had a bowling tournament, crawfish boil, golf tournament, and then another gala. And she handled that with grace, with organization, right on time, with everything going on. It's amazing. She deserves a great job. And as a consequence, we almost have 100,000 in the bank right now. So real quick, there's some noise out on social media. You may have heard that somebody doesn't know where $190,000 went. I made a report on that December 2nd. So if you can't read a financial statement, it's all laid out right here. It's on the website, December 2nd. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Allison. Finally.
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. So the convention committee has been working since we voted in April to have our precinct conventions on March the 7th, which is a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. To secure all the locations which we have, and we have assigned all of the precincts to a specific location. And I printed out the list of all 121 precincts, so you can grab one on your way out. I'm sorry I didn't get it here before we started. And then we're working on putting it on the website, as well as I hopefully will email them out. DJ will email them out to everybody. I am trying to put together a team of helpers for each location. I think there's like 11 locations. So if you would like to help out with your location, are willing to show up a little bit early, or maybe be in charge of picking up a key for that building if it's one of the community centers, you could please reach out to me. I would appreciate that. That's all. Unless there are any questions.
Start at
9, whatever your normal precinct convention time constraints is. Each precinct will meet independently. You're just in the same building.
under 2 hours.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have the buildings until noon. Yes.
Yeah.
Which locations are expected to get the most traffic?
Like which precincts or which actual buildings?
Buildings.
The buildings that I have put the most precincts in, which would be the North Montgomery County Community Center, the Woodlands Bible Church, and the West Montgomery County Community Center, and the Fair Association building in East County, have the most precincts.
Because last time.
Anything else?
I want to thank you, Allison, for pulling this together too. She had a little issue with a person resigning for the same reason that we had with the election voting thing, and but she's able to pull it all together, and we really appreciate it. Is there any other?
Is this the time for the Senate convention or not?
Did you just have a short report on this?
Very short.
Okay.
My short report for that was the precinct conventions. March 28th, we have the senatorial district convention. We're going to meet at Grace Church in the Woodlands on March 28th. If you're in Senate 4, And if you'd like to be on a committee, I've got the committees up here. I'm looking to get those. The reason it's a little bit early, we're not gonna meet again until probably after that. Because next month in March, we have the election, then we've got the precincts, then we have the senatorial district. So those so I'm gonna give my number out. I think everyone has my number, but if not, I'm gonna give it out in just about 20 seconds or so. You can either put it in your phone or write it down. And if you wanna be in a committee, usually what I do is I pick the chairs. I'll ask the chairs to put people on, but I want you to know I let the chairs make a lot of decisions of who's on their committee. We've had committees that were very disruptive, and people on the committees were disruptive. I'll tell you right now, anyone that's disruptive is not gonna be on a committee. The last couple of cycles, people came to me and said, I think they're purposely trying to sabotage the committee. It was that bad. So I don't know that they were, but there's certain people I'm gonna say, probably not. If you are sabotaging a committee, you won't be on it. So if you have an honest heart and you wanna really help with the committee, please let me know. We'd love to have you on the committee. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Dale, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, whoops-a-daisy. 281. 281-460-4900. 281-460-4900. I recognize the young lady in the front.
Don't the Senate District committee chairs choose their committee members, and maybe you could send these recommendations to them? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the chairs, and then I'm gonna probably have a few people that will contact me and say, could I be on there? And I'm gonna check with that chairman, do you work well with this person? Because we've had some chairs that had a couple people on the committee that they said, we do not work well. Well, I don't wanna put them together again. Maybe there's a different committee that person could be on. So I do let the chair, once I put the chair, I let the chair have a lot of say-so who's on the committee. I think I have had once or twice where I said, Chair, you either put this person on the committee, or I'm gonna have to replace you as chair. But I usually don't do that.
Thank you, Dale, for your hard work on that. Okay, I'm going to not read my chairman's report for y'all. Y'all all clap. Right. I worked hard on this, and it will be published, and when it gets published soon, I'm expecting each and every one of you to read it, because I worked very hard on this wording. All right. Vice Chair.
No report.
Treasurer.
Real quickly, just want to point out that John Wertz hit all the high points. There's copies of the budget versus the actual for the Trump-Reagan Gala over here on this table if you didn't get it. Okay, that's it.
Very good. Secretary.
I want to thank Terry Sherman, Nita Henry, Mary Mounier, and Shelley Lees, and Jeanette, what's her last name, Haber, for their work on helping Robert with these election judges. Since last Thursday to Monday, these ladies all combined worked 4 solid days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, at least 8 to 10 hours a day, contacting potential judges and alternate judges. And those contacts were phone calls, texts, and or emails, just trying to track people down and get them to respond. So I really want to heartily give them my thanks. It couldn't have happened without them.
Thank you, DJ, and thank you for all the extra work you've done. Okay, well deserved. Okay, so moving to the good of the order. Oh my gosh. Oh, we made it. No one has anything. New business? Oh, okay. Yes.
All right, I'm going to introduce a motion. The motion is to allocate up to $15,000 to the Communications Committee in an effort to increase voter engagement, education, and transparency.
Second.
Who was it?
Who seconded? Karen. Karen, so.
Yeah. How much?
How will that money be allocated?
I'm gonna leave that to the communications committee. They're being allocated 15 grand is my motion. They can do with it as they please, by how they see fit. They're a great communications team, and I think we can trust them to get the word out.
I've got a question. You have to remember that the chairman is a woman, and a woman gets $15,000.
Too tempting.
Larry, that's inappropriate.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second, do we have another question?
They're not called the fair sex for nothing.
Should we have another question here?
I'm curious as to how.
You have to stand up so we can hear you.
I'm curious as to how you got landed on $15,000. It seems like plenty. Did the committee request that fund? And how much did they request?
Well, the answer is, based on what we have in the account, thought that would be just an appropriate amount to spend. It didn't come from some magic place, but $15,000 just seemed like a good number to land on. If you'd like to amend it to 20, I might entertain your motion for 20. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
That's Mr. Baker.
Is any of this money related to the steering committee meeting minutes where you said you wanted to use some of it to condemn the PAC that was affected by the resolution? Or at least insinuated it?
So I'll stand with my motion, which I think is pretty clear, just to give $15,000 to the communications committee to spend as they please. So
I would suggest that would not be a good use of funds.
I couldn't hear what he said the last thing. What did he say?
I said I would suggest that's not a good use of funds.
Okay, thank you. All right, all those in favor of that motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. Wow, Stephanie. So was that under new business? Oh, okay. Any other new? Oh.
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a second. Oh, no, oh. Okay.
We're gonna get that earlier. Okay, so. What are you talking about? Maybe to DJ and Sarah Allison, because we're not gonna meet again before the precinct conventions. Are we going to have packets with all the material in them, or what? Yes. Or electronic PDFs? Can we also have fillable PDFs as well if we want them for our precinct convention? Okay, and are these packs gonna be at the locations, or are we to pick them up sometime before?
DJ and I are still figuring that out.
Okay, well, we'll wait for some communication, thank you. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just want to repeat that. You know, when you're doing those packets, you must fill those packets out legibly, because they're going to go for the Senate convention.
Yeah.
I've been up at 3 in the morning trying to figure out, and it's ridiculous. So I'm telling you, I know you do. If I can't read it, I'm not going to spend, I'm going to look at it. So if you write your name down or you're in charge of that, make sure it's legible. And you're going to make a lot of people mad if you don't write it legibly and they're not going to go to this district convention because we can't read it. But I can't put those people through that again 3, 4 in the morning trying to make sense of what this says. And tracking people down, that was way too much work. It's solved by write legibly. If you can't write legibly, have Josh Jaros write for you. Or type it.
Dale. Hey, so our SD7 chair resigned, so we have a new person, Steve Kent,
SD7 chair resigned, they have a new one, Steve Kent. Is Steve Kent here?
Yes.
Oh, good luck.
Dale, you're supposed to say, I'll help you in any way I can.
Well, thank you, Gwen, it's very kind of you to help me. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've got some, I'll help you out, give me a call. Is that,
Okay, now, so we have a motion to adjourn, and we're looking for a second. Green church. Okay, all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.